So I started out in this business about 4 or 5 years ago, right at the start of the pandemic. Other people's COVID hobbies were, baking bread out in the garden, all that crazy stuff we all did. And mine was making games. This canceled my annual Vegas trip to March Madness. So I used this time to, hey, let's have a Vegas night. Let's deal blackjack at home. And kind of quickly realized that, after a while, blackjack gets a little boring. How do we spice it up? So from that, I started, making my own games and, getting people around who are, stuck at home from all parts of the country, to try it out. And I still do that today. I've got a group of playtesters from, Washington State, Northwest, down to Florida and the Southeast, from all across the country, who I can actually get real feedback. And they're the kind of people who aren't gonna, just butter up, oh, it's the best game ever. Like if I make something that's boring, I'm gonna hear about it real quick. So I get that feedback, and you get that impression of whether a game's gonna be good or not.
Now, I can imagine that's pretty intimidating, or I think a lot of people would be intimidated. You weren't in the casino business, right? And then you came up with this great game, and you're dealing blackjack and your variations to friends over Zoom. Like when you came up with a game that was fun, how did you make the decision? You know what? I want to get this in a casino. And what was that journey like for you?
Right. So I had a game a couple years ago, and kind of like we talked about, it started with a name. It was called Pick a Hand Poker. And so I had that name I liked, and I built a game around it and ran a whole bunch of prototypes around, my play testers. And at some point I was like, hey, I think this is something, how do I commercialize it? And fortunately, I had one friend in the industry. He provided a lot of feedback on my early games that they weren't ready. But this one he liked. So he's like, hey, I think this is something, get it to ready for market, go get all the math reports, get all the patents, all the, game protection stuff you need. And I can help you get a pitch for this game. And so that was kind of the quick learning curve. I went to a big name property in Vegas for my first ever pitch. Really didn't know the industry, didn't know a lot. And, they liked the game well enough that they sent it to one of their other properties to take a deeper look at it. They didn't move forward, which was a blessing in disguise because the game wasn't ready. It had problems, but it was such a good learning opportunity, and it made all of my